Once you win one, it's like a chocolate. You then want another one. And my part is about a man. He's a magistrate in some empire somewhere. Not a very powerful man. On the very edge of the empire, on the edge of a wilderness, where there are indigenous tribal people who live very close to the land, who are not part of the empire. And he has the shock of realizing that the life he is leading is a very, very violent life, and that he is part of an empire that is very cruel and suppressive and paranoid. From a very different perspective, a CIRO's perspective, of course, being culturally so different, a South American perspective. You won't find Chris Nolan getting out a cigar and dancing the salsa very well on the Friday night when filming completes. But CIRO is very relaxed, very sensual. I was amazed the first time I went out with him at the end of a very complex day of filming, and there he was with having a nice drink and the cigar. Stephen also has a cigar, but Stephen doesn't like to dance. Stephen is the oldest of the three. He's the youngest. His love is the youngest. And Chris is very, very, his mind is very, very strong. You could simplify it and say, Stephen is really here. He works from here, from his heart. Chris is very, like a crystal. He's very much in his head. In a good way, you know, in a good way. Very smart, very interested in time and in the story. And CIRO is much more in his hips and he's sensual. But Stephen is very, very concerned and in love with the old way of telling a story of when something is revealed, that there's something hidden and then it's revealed. And he's always thinking when he loves a story, Stephen, he wants everyone to love it. So all the time that you're filming, he's thinking, what does the audience need right now? What do they need to know? What do they need not to know? Is it too fast? Is it too slow? He's very, very concerned with that. Chris is much more interested in challenging an audience, I think. He's much more interested in finding new forms of storytelling that haven't been done before, you know. So you tell a story backwards, or you tell a story with 3 different times, as in Dunkirk. A fast time, a 15 minutes, a time of 9 hours, and a time of 3 days. And how could you mix those together? I don't think Stephen will ever make a film like that. And I don't think Chris will ever make a film in the more classic way a story unfolds that Stephen does.